special Newsx interview with BJP leader Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Normally known as a maverick, it's turning out that Dr. Swamy, you are not such a maverick after all. The BJP government is taking you seriously. The courts are taking you seriously. Of course, I'm referring to the National Herald's case. Can you explain what exactly is the case against the Congress president?
Well, first of all, the maverick is a compliment in the United States.
So you're
means
taking
a person who's independent, who is not towing the party line and so on.
Not a loose cannon.
Yeah, these are all, you see, because our people don't know English, so they think they don't understand the word maverick. Maverick is a horse which runs its own route. But in this country, people they can't tell the difference between summons and notice.
Which is why we have you here.
Well, what was your question?
The National Herald case. Can you just explain the case against them first?
Simply like this. Let me go from the other end and say what is the offence. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and 4 of our associates, close associates, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, Suman Dubey, and Sam Pitroda. They got together and formed a company. In that, 76% of the shares went to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi equally. That is 38-38. Of the remaining 24, the 12 went to Motilal Vora, 12 went to Oscar Fernandez, Pitroda and Suman Dubey got nothing, but they became directors. It's possible under company law. Without owning shares also, you can become a director. Now, the total authorized capital of this company was just 5 lakh rupees. Now, take the next institution. Associated Journals of India, formed as a company in 1938, not by Jawaharlal Nehru as they are constantly saying, but by 8 individuals amongst whom Jawaharlal Nehru is also there. Purushottam Tandon is there, Acharya Narendra Dev is there, Rafi Ahmad Kidwai is there. All top Congress leaders got together and formed a company to start a newspaper. In fact, they started 3 newspapers, one in Hindi, one in Urdu, and one in English. In 2008, they closed down the company. Stopped, not the company, they stopped the publication. They were not producing any newspapers. So at that time, they had a property they owned, which was given by government on concessional terms, on lease terms, like Indian Express and Times of India. They're also in the same area, and they were given a 2 rupees per acre rate, and they had properties.
This was in 2008.
Indian Express and Times of India. They're also in the same area, and they were given a 2 rupees per acre rate, and they had properties.
This was in 2008.
No.
Before.
They're right through after
Till
independence.
2008. Okay.
So they had accumulated properties in about 8-9 cities, Bombay, Bhopal, Indore, Panchkula, Patna, Lucknow, like that. And as a consequence, they got land to start editions of the newspaper, which they didn't. They flouted the law and built mall in Bhopal. Then Bombay, there's a luxury apartment building in Bandra. Panchkula, tourist home, anything but the
newspaper.
That itself is illegal. But they had anywhere between 2,000 crores worth of property up to 5,000 crores, depending on the valuation. I say let's take 2,000 crores, the minimum. They also had acquired debts of non-payment of salaries and provident fund, etc., of 90 crores. Okay. So after it closes down, the Congress party of a treasurer makes a proposal to the Associated Journals that to revive the newspaper, we give you a loan. Now, who is the Congress party treasurer? Motilal Vora. Who is the chairman of Associated Journal? Motilal Vora. So Motilal Vora makes a proposal to Motilal Vora that, we want to help you restart the paper, so we are giving you 90 crores to write off your debt.
And this 90 crore is coming from where? The Congress?
Congress party funds.
This is what the money is collected, which is tax exempt.
A tax exempt is collected by donations, and therefore you don't even have to disclose the sources if it is less than 40,000. So it's it's money which is you're barred from doing it. You got an exemption to do politics.
So use tax exempt money for tax exempt purpose, not for...
tax exempt money for non-exempted purposes.
You cannot say that a newspaper that will voice the party view is a party purpose.
No. It's not. It's a private company. Then the party should start a newspaper.
They have a Sandesh. They should put it in that.
Yeah, that's why putting money in Sandesh, yes. So they gave this 90 crores. Now, obviously there was a conspiracy because first of all, they're all the same people. Now what happens is that Mr. Motilal Vora, director of Young Indian, goes on behalf of the committee of the Young Indian company to National Herald and says, how are you going to pay this 90 crores? We will pay the Congress party, so we'll own it up. But you have to give us some consideration. So what you do is you issue 9 crore shares of 10 rupees each, which was the price in 1947. Now, if you had really evaluated as per the company law, the shares would have been worth 4,000, 5,000 rupees. But anyway, they sold it. 9 crore shares were printed and handed over to Young Indian on the promise that they would clear the 90 crore debt. And Ms. Sonia Gandhi gave permission to Sonia Gandhi to do this operation. So the conspiracy is complete. Now, 9 crore shares, previous shares of the National Herald, only 1 lakh. So it became 9 crore plus 1 lakh shares, which means 99.1% of the shares was transferred to
Young Indian.
So this AJL became a part of Young Indian. All right. Now, once they got this property, they began using it for commercial purposes. For instance, they started giving out to rent. They given rent to Indian Ministry of External Affairs. They are in power, and they give it to Ministry of External Affairs. 60 lakhs a month. Then they've given to Tata Consultancy Services.
On rent.
On rent. All these rents, they are collecting 1.07 crores a month in rent.
And this is in the caucus of Young Indian and not in the Congress party.
Absolutely.
So this is just...
Nor are they paying the Congress party the loan. Why? Because Congress party then holds another meeting in Sonia Gandhi's house and says that this is a loan which can never be recovered, so we are writing it off.
As a bad debt.
What Congress party should have done? Auction that property and give us the proceeds.
When did you first raise this case? How did it come to your
I raised it 1.5 years ago in the court. I got the materials about 2 years ago when I was driving down Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg. I saw this Passport Seva Kendra, and I was a bit surprised because there was a building owned by a nice property owned by the American Embassy across the street from Supreme Court. And I know that the Ministry of External Affairs was negotiating with the Americans to buy it, to convert it into a really fancy Passport Seva Kendra, all India, where everything will be done by digital methods. So I wondered why they come here, because there's no parking here, there's a jam, there's, it's a mess, there's a harassment for the people.
Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg, yes.
Furthermore, I also remember the Indian Express case which was before the Supreme Court, when Mrs. Gandhi's government, Rajiv Gandhi's government, tried to take over the Indian Express on the grounds that they had rented out the top 3 floors for commercial purposes. All these arguments were made at that time, but in any case, in the end, the whole thing fizzled out because Mr. V.P. Singh came to power. Now, that time the Supreme Court laid down a law that if you get property here at concessional terms to run a newspaper, then you have to run a newspaper and anything associated with running the newspaper. You can't engage in commercial activity.
So what about the building in Bahadur Shah Zafarabad, the National Herald building? It
is owned by a company which is renting it out for...
the Young Indian.
No, Young Indian is renting it out.
To some...
as I told you, to Passport Seva Kendra, to Tatas, to other multinationals.
That is this bill. Now the Congress is arguing that why is Mr. Swamy so worried? This is our personal matter. We gave the funds to someone, to our own people. Why is he so worried? If anybody has to file a case, it has to be the Congress party.
Well, yes, it would have been that if everything was a Congress party money. But I am saying that as far as Associated Journal is concerned, you have given land. Government has given land at concessional terms to run a newspaper. And you have killed the newspaper.
And you have...
Now, the Spectrum case, which I argued and got the license cancelled, the Congress argued the same way. Why is Swamy coming into the picture? It's the government which is doing it with a company, and they have fixed the price. The government has the right to fix the price. The TRI also supported this, and therefore we have fixed a low price of 1/10 the market price. This is for social purposes. At that time, I argued and the Supreme Court accepted that as far as Spectrum is concerned, that's the sky, where you're talking about channel. So that's a limited space, because so many countries are involved, so we have to partition the sky. So therefore, it's a national property. And national property cannot be given this way, like as if it is your private property. So public interest is involved. And the Supreme Court upheld my view. If Congress party was taken national and started running the newspaper, my arguments would have been weaker. But Mr. Rahul Gandhi has given in email, in writing, that Young Indian will not publish a newspaper.
You have that email with you?
Yeah, I presented to court. But as far as the criminal court is concerned, it is breach of trust. But at the moment, I thought that I will go for the case of fraud, cheating, 420, breach of trust. And these are itself quite severe.
How did you feel when a government finally took it seriously and the income tax actually issued notices? Because this has been pending for a while.
I don't care if the government takes it seriously or not. They have to do their duty. Supposing the income tax had not agreed, I would have gone to court. This is what I did with Manmohan Singh. I asked him for sanction to prosecute Raja. He sat on it. So I went to Supreme Court and got it. So it is no great thing. The government has done its duty, and I'm happy about it. But that, I could have, if they had not done it, I would have gone to court. But it would look terrible that I going against my own government.
What is the next thing that you would do? We've seen the National Herald, we've seen 2G.
Yes. Well, I think this present time, because for 10 years, and actually more than 10 years for the last, since 1971, Sonia Gandhi, or rather 1965 or 68, I would say, when she got married, she has had a highly protected, above the law existence. So I think my coming days will be concentrated on more crimes committed by Ms. Sonia Gandhi and family.
And family. So is it personal, the fact that, as you're saying, your focus will be her and nobody else? I mean, the other congressmen who've committed crimes, I'm sure also. Why just her?
Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a personal under criminal law.
But you are training your guns on her.
Well, I have always believed that the best way to cure India of corruption is to catch the big people. And once you catch them, the small people say, if they can be caught, then we can be caught.
But there are cases against Mayawati, Mulayam. Why don't you take those up also?
Yes, you give me the CBI, I will take it up. But I'm a private individual.
Your friend Mr. Modi, he's...
Well, Mr. Modi should give me, you recommend to him that he should hand the CBI to me, the enforcement directorate to me. I'll catch all of them.
As a legal, I want your legal opinion on this. This Congress demand for a LOP, legal and personal, because they are saying, BJP is saying that even Rajiv Gandhi was there in 84, 85, he did not give it. You knew him at that time. What was the rationale for not giving it to the TDP, I think, was demanding the LOP at that time?
Oh, there was a speaker's order that you have to have 55 MPs, a political party, not a coalition. A political party must have 55 MPs. Now you can say that, okay, now we'll get a new speaker's order. Why? Why should we? So that Sonia Gandhi can get minister's rank position.
But circumstances have changed, and it will be probably Kharge.
What is the change in circumstance?
Now there's a collegium which has a LOP to choose the Lokpal, the Chief Vigilance Commissioner. How will we get an impartial Lokpal in place?
No, if they are absent, it doesn't nullify it. Supposing you have a committee in which all the take a company and board of directors, all the directors don't turn up, or somebody has died and there's a vacancy. It doesn't mean that the company can't run. These appointments can take place without the LOP. You see.
Coming back to the thing with Rajiv Gandhi, did Chandrababu Naidu appeal to him personally at point, or was he at any point inclined to give in despite the speaker's ruling?
I don't know. Rajiv Gandhi is a very decent person. I always liked him. I thought very highly of him. He married badly. That's the only minus point about him. But the fact is that...
see, this is again your personal view coming in, which is...
No, it's not a personal view. I have a personal view about Sonia Gandhi, but that's a different matter. When I go to court, nobody's going to care for my personal views. There I have to produce facts, I have to produce documents. But I think, you see, as the Rajiv Gandhi had very clearly told me at that time, because NTR had spoken to me also, knowing that I knew Rajiv well. But he said, we have to follow rules. And he stuck to it. Today also same thing. There's a speaker's order, 55. What is so special about Sonia Gandhi that she should be given leader of the opposition? You say Kharge, I'm telling you the day we declare, okay, we are recognizing the Congress nominee as the leader of the opposition, Kharge will be thrown in the waste paper basket and she will take over as the leader of the opposition. She is looking for the leader of the opposition because it carries minister's rank position, which will give her protection against a lot of things.
Someone who didn't want to be Prime Minister, you think would be okay?
That is you journalists, because you don't do any research, she could not become. And
that meeting between you and Abdul Kalam?
Yes, Abdul Kalam's 330 letter is still missing. Where is that 330 letter? And how do I know there is a 330 letter? Because Manmohan Singh read out of it in one last paragraph. He read out of that letter at 5 o'clock. You can see it on your television tapes if you want. Where is that letter?
What did the letter say?
The letter said that the president has got some complaints from me, and he doesn't know the merit of it. He has to check with the Election Commission and the Supreme Court, and then decide. But he still want to insist on forming